Okay, so I recently had a comment earlier this month regarding changing the toner for the Magicolor 9690 MF. I previously did a video on changing the chip for the rollers, and you can check that out up there. And the follow-up comment was like, hey, can you show how to change the toner? And so this video is going to be that. Changing the toner, adding, and it just so happens that I need it. So I'll go ahead and do it kind of front to end or front to back on how to do it. So the way that you kind of figure it out is that you look here and you have, I can't see it, says toner M empty. So that's going to be magenta. So we're going to go ahead and change it. I have my nifty tape. Ugh. So, wrong way. And so here's what you have here. You have your toners are all up here, and then these are going to be your the rollers. I can't think of what their name are. Their actual name is. So we're going to go ahead and shut this off. The switch on the side, off. And then this is magenta, so we're going to slide this to the right, and then it's going to fold down. Now, we're going to go ahead and push this down, and then pull it out. It's much easier to do with two hands. Ugh. There we go. So, we're going to go and pull it out. So, now it's out. You can see the chip on it, and then we'll go ahead and I'll set it up, set the workstation up, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay. Okay, so basically what we have here, we have our magenta ink cartridge. So, and this is kind of the way it works. It slides open, slides this door open and closed, and determines how much toner is let loose. So, we have to do two things. We have to take off the screws that hold off this piece because the cap is right under here, and you'll see it shortly. And we have to change the toner chip because the chip tells it how many prints it has left before it can before it cancels. So, you have 3 screws. You see it right here, right here, right here. Now, if you've never done it, you're going to have a sticker that's right across here. I've done these a number of times, so that's why they're exposed. And then you have this little screw right there. So I'll go through getting that taken off, and then we'll go from there. One thing that you want to keep in mind when we do get it off that I'm going to do, but I probably won't talk about, is that there's a gear right in here that basically opens and closes, and you can kind of see it. You can see the teeth. Well, you can't see the teeth, so we'll have to see it when it's off. But you just want to make sure that stays in its position when you take it off and then put it back on. So, okay. I usually do the hardest one last, and then the hardest one first. So, when I take this one off, it'll go ahead, and then it'll be free to lift. Oh, there's the gear. There's the gear that you can see from this side. So now this is kind of just off. So now we're just going to kind of gently lift it straight off. And now you have the cap where the toner goes, and then here's the gear that I talked about. So, there we go. So you can see where its position is, and then just make sure that when it comes back on, that it's going to be kind of in the same place. So, the tricky thing about this one is that it can be difficult to get this piece off. Now intuitively, you would just say, oh, I could just stick this in here and pry it. But I wouldn't do that, because once you do, you're gonna mess up this piece of plastic, which is part of the cartridge itself, around the side. Sorry if there's not enough light, I'm trying a new setup and it doesn't work good. But so you're gonna have some plastic here. So what you really wanna do is when you get it in there, kind of get a screwdriver in there, a really small one, and then just push it to the center and then pry. So I'm gonna get a little guy here that's not gonna do too much damage. So this little guy, and I'll kind of go straight in and then kind of push it in, if you can see kind of what I'm doing, and then push it. Oh, I'm not quite far enough in. I want to get it, there we go. Now push it in and then pry it out. There you go. Now it's completely open, it's in my hand. So you can see, you want to try not to dig the screwdriver into the side. Now some of it's unavoidable, but for the most part, try to find a tool that doesn't do that very much. And here's the lip that I was talking about. You don't want to deform this, because this is flexible and malleable. So if you don't mess this up, this should fill in any gaps. So we'll do this. So I'm going to take this. Links to where to get it is in the description. To get all of these, the chips, the refill kit, and then you can go and purchase it. But I'm going to go and fill it. Basically what you're going to do is you're just going to take this, put it in the top, and then basically squeeze it and just work it until it's all gone. So that's what we're going to do. I'll be right back. Okay, so now it's totally full, and you can see that I made a terrible mess everywhere on my hand. With this, as long as it's not wet, you don't want to really get it wet too much. As long as it stays dry, you can just put on the cap and then kind of just blow with some force and it'll come out. And I'm doing it outside just because I don't want to get it all over in the shop. So you just kind of press that back into place and then go and blow it out. Be right back. Okay, done. It's clean. You want to get as much of it off of there as possible. You can use like a dry paper towel or dry rag, something that doesn't have a whole lot of particles that you could risk getting in there. And as you can see, it's closed, which it definitely shouldn't be, because when we took this off, we had to open it so it exposed the screw. But I do remember where I had it, and it was right about there. So I just kind of line up where I know it should be. There we go. Line up where I know it should be, and then you'll fall right into that spot, and we'll test it when we get it, but now you'll see it's open. So now you just go through the process. I'm just going to lift it exactly like I had it before and then set it down. And it should be pretty close. I don't want to put any pressure on it. I don't want to force it. It'll go in when it knows how it wants to go in. And right there, testing it works. Let's get the screw out here. Then we'll go ahead and start the screw back in. Like I said, I start with the hardest one first and then just get it. I don't want to tighten it all down first. I just want to kind of snug it. It's good. It's in place. I'll set all these in place. And we'll get that. I didn't even really snug that other one yet. I want to make sure they're all started so none of them get cross-threaded, because it's just plastic. If you cross-thread it, you're going to end up having to buy a new cartridge, which defeats the purpose of filling it yourself. So now that's good. Snug that. Go back to this one. Snug that. Go back to this one. Snug that. So now everything's snugged down. This moves freely, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so now it's closed. So that part's done. It has the toner in it. It's good to go. Now we just need to go put the chip in it so that when we slide it back into our printer will say, hey, I am full. So it's going to be a really small Phillips. There we go. Okay. Too easy. Toner chip, really not too much to speak of. So I've been looking at how to reflash the chip on the board, but that has been quite elusive. This model doesn't appear to have that ability. Some other Magicolor models do, but I have not been able to find one that has a chip. Now, if another chip for a different model works for this and then I can do it, I'd try it, but I would hate to buy the chip just to find out that I can't use the chip with what I want to do. So, there's the tag, and like I said, I'll go ahead and post that in the comments so where you can actually get it. Old chip, new chip, exactly the same. Now, it's done. So, let's go back inside and put it back in and see what happens. Okay, back to the printer. Now we'll take our unit and go ahead and make sure it's closed, because when we put it in, it's going to actually open it just how it needs to be. So slide it in there again, not forcing it. Push this down so it slides right in. We go up, and we put this up here, and then when we open it, well, it did not catch. There we go. Now it's caught it, so now it's open. So we're good to go there. Okay. Now, go ahead and open it or turn it on. Now just a bit. Now it's going through all its checks. Now it's going to have an error where it's going to say incorrect toner. Don't worry about that. So those are the chips saying, basically I got those chips from China. So they're, for whatever reason, it throws an error there. But it doesn't change use except for when you go to print on your computer. It may say, oh, incorrect toner. Which isn't true, it's just what the machine is saying, so you have to hit OK. But that might also be the actual roller chips that are giving that, because I didn't get that until I did that, so until I did those. Okay. At some point it'll do something. And then we'll check to... There we go. It's getting close. I have a good feeling about it. Might have another color that's out, I'm not sure. Let's see, there you go. So toner remaining has magenta, totally full. So that's registering good. So we're good to go there. So this says wrong. So this is an I unit chip. So the cyan one is saying, oh, it's the wrong one. It'll function just fine without it. Don't worry about it. It has the chip in there, the cheaper one that you can get, but it's not actually wrong. So functionality, it'll still print just fine. Okay. Well, there's the video. I'm sorry it took so long to get it updated, or get it up there, but you're good to go, and I hope this helps.